How you doing, guys? All right, this should be my last video, and it should be the foundation to have these criminal charges dropped and removed and taken off my record. It should also add as a note that in my 2019 domestic violence case, that there were several issues of similar business practices. Now, let me be more specific. I'm talking more so in the judicial proceedings, and it's something to where the reason, the biggest reason why I'm doing these videos is because of my children. Now, I haven't seen or spoken to my children in over a year, uh, and that is with visitation rights. I've been paying child support. I've been doing what I needed to do and follow the court's orders to see my children. And for whatever reason, my children's visitations are not being enforced that allow me to see my children. So that is something to where it's an issue that gets brought up into this case because of the domestic violence and the false accusations that were made against me at that time that put me in a position to even have visitations there. Now, I had no issues with my children. I never had issues with my children. I get along with my children just fine. And to have this be part of my court experience from 2019 just adds to the issue of exactly, what the issues are. And my confidence level in dealing with the judicial system because of what I've seen. And I'm just being very careful on exactly and as respectful to the judicial system and to the government, and to say that from day one, I'm not against police enforcement. I'm not against the military. I'm not against, any United States government body. But there seems to be a level of bias in dealing with these cases that I'm involved in. So that is a constitutional issue as well that needs to get brought up, to where since 2019, either from defamation or from another means, that there needs to be an open air talk about this. Like I said, from day one, I'm not against police enforcement. I'm not against the military. I'm not against any branches of government. And it's something to where there seems to be a lot of ill will and bad faith in trying to push me in an area of of problem making. So it's something to where I'm just being open. I'm just being out front. I have nothing to hide, and I have everything to show and give to prove what I'm saying is credible. Since 2019, my credit has gone down. My career has taken a big blow, and my reputation because of the accusations made in 2019. Now we fast forward that to 2024 and 2025, and going to the actual incident that happened about 3-4 weeks ago, to where the issue why it's important that I want to make sure, and I'll be as specific as I can with this, was the problem with the police report is that it doesn't say anything about the other person. It doesn't say about his firearm. It doesn't say about his location, where he got it from, that he took it off safety, that he actually used it to try to aim and terrorize me. And his firearm was in a co-worker's toolbox. And it just, my Miranda rights weren't read to me. I had to go to the hospital from the fight that ensued. So there is a lot of gray area that needs to get filled in with the facts, and the facts that I can provide and that are credible, to say exactly what happened here. So it just adds another layer of complexity, not controversy, to this case. And that is something that we need to be able to understand, that judicial law is very complex and complicated. And being involved in a court case is very stressful. It's very emotionally draining. It's very physically draining. It's very time consuming. I've lost time with my family. I've lost time with my children. I've lost time in my career. And it's something to where uh, it's very time consuming to try to now correct reputation errors and what people try to perceive as someone that they perceive as angry. And I do not come off that way. I do not act that way. And it's something to where defamation is a crime. And it should be a crime in Connecticut. And that is something that I want to speak to the legislators and the people that make crimes in Connecticut about. Defamation should be a crime in Connecticut. It's a crime in New York. It's a crime in a lot of other states in America. And it's something that needs to be brought up at the type of damage, the type of harm, the type of malice, the type of ill will onto another person that is just as bad as a fist fight, that's just as bad as robbing someone of their money, it's just as bad as stealing their car, or it's just as bad as murder or fraud. And it's something that we as an American people need to be able to speak about these things. That is why I was open to starting a conversation to get these topics put on the kitchen table, to get put on the government table, to be like, what can we do to make this better? What can we do to help our fellow neighbors? What can we do to help you and me and make America as good as it can be? So with that, I'm going to show you some more pieces of evidence. This is what is something that I've noticed, and it's something to where it makes it for it brings up the issue of premeditation. It brings up the issue of corruption, and it brings up the issue of a scandal because it involved more than one coworker. Now, the issue of targeting, the issue of intimidation, the issue of retaliation because of the issues that are brought up in this case. And it's something to where I want to make sure that my friends or family are safe, first and foremost. I want to make sure that the people that I know are safe and okay as well. So with this, it adds another layer, and it just makes for, it's almost so obvious. Well, I shouldn't say obvious. It makes it for, it's so close to being accurate that it was an eye opener. And when I thought about it, now everyone that watches television knows the TV show 24. Now, this is something to where I'm just making it out because it's something that I can make it relatable to you so you can understand it more. Now, in season 4, on the TV show 24, to make it as picturesque so you could picture it in your mind at the situation, the level of toxicity, and the level of malice, and the level of premeditation. The best way I can explain it is on the TV show 24, season 4, you had an issue with one person was going into a gas station, and the gas station was manually put closed, but the doors were still open. Now, this is something to where a customer tried to buy some stuff, and the store was totally isolated from any outside environment for a normal business practice. Now, I understand everyone is allowed to run their business the way that they see fit, but when it crosses the line of being unconstitutional and bad faith, and put people, co-workers, and customers, and equipment in danger, then that becomes a safety problem, and that is something to where OSHA is there to try to protect us. OSHA is there so that everyone goes home safe at the end of the night. It makes sure that everyone, it makes for the best possible customer experience for you if you're a customer. So it's something to where, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because of the isolation, the level of unconstitutionalism. If this is because of, if you could picture it in your mind, going to work and having everything filtered to you. Everything was either timed or in conjunction with another thing, either with a coworker who was trying to passively aggressively provoke me, and on several occasions came very close to me. And it just adds to a level that I just want you guys to picture in your mind at the type of hostility to where I've been in the automotive industry for over 25 years. And I'm not saying that, the TV show was the store. I'm not saying none of that. All I'm saying is to make it as best related, to make it relatable, and to imagine the type of work environment that it was. It was a hostile work environment for over 6 months, with coworkers that didn't like each other. For coworkers that were nipping at each other. For coworkers that were, on a day-to-day basis, actively looking to cause bad faith actions towards you. And it calls for a lot of customer complaints. It calls for a lot of extra work that needed to be done to make sure that the work that I did when I worked on these cars was so over the top that the level of assurance that I had to do to make sure that when I fixed the car, that it did not return either broken or I forgot something. I had to go and make 2 or 3 levels of additional safety measures, and I had to put that in place for something as simple as putting on a wheel, as mounting a tire, as doing brakes. It's something that, as an automotive technician, we do that on an everyday basis. And if you're experienced enough, you could do that almost without thinking about it. But in this type of environment, when you have a bad faith environment, the foundation of the job is to cause a problem and to cause harm, and is to cause a rift, and is there to physically, mentally, and emotionally batter you, then that is a problem. That is unconstitutional. And that is what I'm saying. I am saying that the level of hostility in this work environment, and the effort that I tried to make to try to get myself out of this work environment and try to communicate that with upper management, is something that should be taken very seriously. And it's something to where there's more videos, there's more photos that I could show that show the level of measure that I had to take to perform an accurate job, just in that type of environment. And it's something to where, because of the ill will, because of the bad faith work environment, and you had people going one and after each other, is something to where the level of distraction was so high that there was more than one mistake. There was more than one customer problem, and it brought up a level of efficiency. It brought up a level of safety, because now you're not talking about a personal car. You're talking about a customer's car that as soon as they do an oil change, they could go right on the highway and doing 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. And that's a safety problem. And that's something that I'm saying is the seriousness of this, that people have to actually take in and say, there could have been a major problem here. And luckily, it was only one incident, and luckily, no one was injured or killed. It ended up being a fist fight, but weapons were being drawn. Now, I had to take mine out because of self-defense. He took his out to try to intimidate, to try to terrorize, to try to force his way upon mine. And it's something that should be noted, and it's something that is not stated in the police report. So I'm going to leave that to the people, to my attorney, that needs to be able to get the most accurate information to the people that can make the best decisions for this case. The case to where the reason why it's unconstitutional, the reason why bad faith workplaces are unconstitutional, and the foundation for this case is based on the Constitution. It's based on constitutional rights, equality. It's based on due process, the Fifth Amendment, and it's based on it's trying to get the most accurate information to the people who make decisions, and that is the judge. That is my attorney. So with that being said, I want to say thank you. My hearing is for tomorrow. Now, like I said, there is no guarantees once I step foot in court exactly what will happen. I don't know who's going to be there. All I'm saying is, because there has been very to little communication, very to little involvement since my arrest, these videos are made as information. It's made to enlighten and to show and to put a spotlight on the shadiness of this case. Not only this case, but my other cases in 2019. Because there's a lot of things that fell in between the cracks. There were a lot of things that were not said that needed to be said. There was a lot of things that could have affected the judgment and the judge's decision. And these videos are here to make sure that my attorney knows exactly the level, the stakes that we are playing, that the court system knows that the level of stakes in a criminal matter, and that the country and the government knows that this is a constitutional issue, and it's supposed to awaken our constitutional conscience, to have everyone have their own constitutional enforcements supported. And that's equal to every American citizen. So with that being said, I want to say thank you for listening to me. I understand these videos are long. I understand these videos are not flashy or real fun to watch, but they're meant to be informative. They're meant to be educational, and they're meant to shine a light on all the gray area. So with that, I want to say thank you. I will leave a message depending on what happens tomorrow, that there may or may not be another message this week, either on social media. So with that, I want to say thank you, and have a nice day.